Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we barely remember, push pause on the recording, eat 2 pizzas and 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. Come back for a second half of the show in which we are again talking about the same movie for the first half, but now we've watched the movie so we know more about it. My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this very special episode is Demolition Man.
Hold on, what's special about it?
Oh, it's first episode of the new year.
Oh, that's true. Happy New Year, Totes.
Happy New Year. As we progress into the future, we also watch a movie about the future. I think.
Yeah, totally.
Although this might be one of those movies where it's actually past at this point. Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
Yes, solid bet. I'm betting that the future in this movie is 2015. No, that's Back to the Future. 2018.
Wow.
I'm gonna say it's 2021.
Nice.
I didn't bring my notebook.
That's
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
Do you want me to take notes, Dan?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
We'll see what happens with that.
Should we
We'll
should we do a quick peek behind our curtain?
Just a quick one.
Yeah, I think
Just a
so.
quick one.
Just a quick
Please.
one. Poor Dan has a cold.
Yeah.
And so
me.
we've decided to record online, and for some reason, every technological difficulty has arrived.
Not me, baby. I've been
No,
all
you've
good
been-
the whole time.
You've been all good. But we're in a mood.
Yeah. It's been a long time since we've done this. So
Yeah.
we're kind of
We
feeling
did.
it out, I think.
Yeah, we did it consistently for like a couple yeyears.
Sure. But that was
Yeah.
Maybe
different.
just a year. Yeah, it was different.
But that first one we did during the pandemic, I think it was like The Graduate or something. It was so off and so hard to do because I think it was the first time we were doing it online, maybe.
Yeah, go back and listen to whatever.
No, don't.
Wow. And also, we were, filled with dread over global events.
Just like they are in the movie Demolition Man.
Maybe. Now,
I'm
I-
segue.
I've seen this movie. Dan, I
Raggy.
believe, has also seen this movie.
Oh, I've seen the movie.
Yeah. But
I have also, can I give just one more peek behind the curtain? But
Please.
this one is absolutely relevant to Demolition Man.
Okay.
Dan Jaquette was so excited for this movie.
Yep.
Like when we sat down to plan out our year, Dan, it was an emotional roller coaster.
yeah.
And there was a moment when we thought we weren't going to get to Demolition Man and we made it happen. I have never seen the movie and neither has Beth. Is that right?
Yeah, it's so
Perfect.
much so that I literally don't know anything about it.
Perfect.
I know the title.
Yep.
And because we are recording online, everyone has given themselves kind of silly names on their login here. And also Dan has put Linvester Dan Lone.
Yes.
So that makes me think that Sylvester Stallone is in it.
We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, that's some good sleuthing. I tried to participate, but I just put Molly Man
Perfect.
instead
Yeah.
of Demolition Man because I didn't know literally anything but the title.
I thought it was like Michael Mann,
Yeah.
who I don't think is
Oh, or
like,
Amy Man. Who is
Or-
Michael Mann?
He's a director.
director. Not of this
Heat.
movie, though.
Oh,
And other
great.
things.
Other things.
Well,
That loud
yeah.
one that I
Which
filmed in
loud
Madison.
one?
It's about gangsters.
What?
Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. And they filmed it in Madison, Wisconsin when I lived there.
Oh,
Christian Bale came into the toy store I worked at. I was not working at the time.
Ooh.
yeah.
And he bought Magna tiles.
Oh.
Yeah, for someone, maybe his kid.
That's nice. Was he nice?
Yeah. He seemed nice. I think.
Was he mad at
whoever
you
was-
for stepping into the scene while he was trying to pretend that he lived in the future with a crazy robot man?
I believe he did not get help right away and was slightly irritated at that, which was fair.
Wow.
Someone
Sure.
should have
Yeah.
noticed.
Listen.
That wasn't me.
Why didn't you help Christian Bale?
I wasn't.
He wasn't
working
there.
that day.
Oh, I missed that part.
But my friend's in that movie.
What? Did
My
they
friend's
film
an
the Toy
extra in that
Store?
movie.
No.
No. Different friend. He's got glasses on. Anyway,
Great.
check out that movie.
Look for the guy with glasses on.
What is that movie that I am thinking of though that has The guy from Indiana Jones in it.
Which guy?
You know what? Cut this out.
Harrison
Cut this
Ford?
out.
Blade Runner?
Yes. Blade Runner.
Oh.
Yes, that's all I can think
This is
about.
very
It's not
different
this.
from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Is it more like Running Man?
I don't
It's
know.
closer to Running Man than
Sure.
Okay.
Blade Runner. Yep.
Got
In
it.
title.
In that it has a jacked dude who.
Well,
talks
it's like a
kinda
little
funny.
more wackadoo.
Yeah, it's-
But let's do Union Strong.
Yeah.
Molly and
Please.
Beth. What's the
Mhm.
time?
What?
Who's timing
Me.
it?
Yeah, sure.
Obviously. Are you ready,
Yes.
Molly?
Usually you say go.
I was asking if you were ready.
Oh, I am ready.
Oh my
I
god,
nodded.
this is a disaster. This is what happens when we go back to the remote version. Okay, ready, go.
We open on an apocalyptic scene that still has bright colors.
There is a man. It is the future. He's here to demolish things.
He's got like kind of an ordinary future job, like mining or demolishing ore, and somehow gets swept up in a larger purpose.
30 seconds.
He has a love interest.
Ooh,
She
yes.
has cool future clothes on.
Oh, and at first she's cooler than he is, but then eventually he ups his coolness to match hers in such a way that you can believe they get together. Or he's a family man.
10 seconds.
And they win. They defeat evil.
Uh-huh.
And they stop a comet from flying.
Time.
Great. Nailed it.
Did you say a
Wow.
comet?
Definitely what happens.
Yeah. mhm.
Okay, they stop a comet
They stop a comet.
through demolishing.
Not an asteroid.
Through-
Comet.
Yeah, specifically
Well,
a comet.
you know,
I like
that's
it.
what I
Me too.
was able to pull up in my head.
like it.
So
What percentage of that would you say is correct?
Okay, there's
Um,
definitely a man.
okay,
Nailed it.
got it.
There's definitely a love interest.
Yes.
Ooh.
She definitely is wearing future clothes. I don't think they're like wacky future clothes though.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I feel
Yeah.
it's more the kind of future where it's like everyone's just kind of dressed up like a ship on
space
Star
suit.
Trek. Yeah.
Mm.
Where like they're all kind of
Dressed up
wearing.
like a ship?
Well, I mean, like
Yeah.
the
It's like
the people who
silver.
are on that set. You know what I mean? Like they all have to dress
Yeah.
pretty similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 100% Utah is what the final number ends
Nice.
up as.
I mean, you will find out, but for sure. I mean, you guys are so
Yeah.
close, for sure.
So it's Sylvester Stallone. Who else will we recognize?
Sylvester Stallone is our hero.
He is our
Okay.
man, I think. Right?
I'm not
He's the
sure who the
titular man?
Demolition Man is,
Mm.
actually.
Yeah. No, now you've got me
His-
doubting.
Yeah. Our antagonist is Wesley Snipes.
Hmm.
Oh.
Oh.
And there is a woman that we will be delighted to see.
Yes, correct.
Hmm.
She's known for knitting bees. I'll leave it at that.
True
I
totes
remember
heads.
the
True
reference,
totes
but I
heads will
don't
know.
remember.
Well,
Who knits bees?
that's for you to
Guess we'll
find out.
find out.
Oh, okay.
So the core premise of this movie, you might as well, so we have content for the first half. The core premise of the movie is, in the future, prison is being cryo-frozen.
Yeah.
And
Or at least
tell-
like the worst prison, right? Isn't it like
Yeah.
he's the worst? He's like, it's like Face Off. He's like the evilest man in the world, according to crimers or Crime
Yeah.
Stoppers.
Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes is
Okay.
very bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets unfrozen
Uh-oh.
and is on the loose. And I think it's like, there's a bit of a, like, what's going on? Why did he come out? He's on the loose now. And there's some intrigue there.
So was
But-
he not? He was sentenced to not ever be unfrozen. Is that what happened?
I think so. Yeah. But the only way to stop him is to also unfreeze Sylvester Stallone, who was, they were, cat and mouse back in the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so like the only way to catch Wesley Snipes is to get his other half, his Batman,
Yes.
from
yes.
his time.
Dan's bet.
Got it.
Sylvester Stallone doesn't trust the cryo system, like the cryo legal system, and voluntarily freezes himself to be there when Wesley Snipes inevitably causes chaos.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
I think
that was
he
my
was-
question.
Yeah. I think he was
Yeah.
wrongfully convicted. That's
Oh,
my bet.
he also gets
Oh.
cryo prisoned.
Yeah, he got framed, I think.
Oh, by Wesley Snipes?
Probably.
Mm.
Or maybe the man. I don't know.
Which man? The Demolition Man?
The Demolition Man.
Yeah, I'm still not sure who the Demolition Man is.
Me neither.
Okay, great.
Does
That
anything
sounds like
get
a fun movie.
demolished?
Yeah, stuff gets
definitely gets
demolished.
demolished, and it rules, I think. I'm pretty sure.
They go to, at one point, they go to a museum
Yeah.
and shoot guns from throughout time.
Yeah.
That's fun. We will also be, I think, shocked to another character in this movie is the head of the underground who rejects the future ways and thinks we should go back to like being dirty and connecting with each other.
Yeah.
A shocking casting of that character.
Very much of its time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is so a lot of the tension of this movie, besides there being an evil Wesley Snipes causing chaos, is that Sylvester Stallone is a man of a certain time, and now he is in a different time.
Ooh, fish out of water.
He's very much a fish out of water. And this time, you will learn, is heavily sanitized and not prepared for such a chaos agent such as Wesley Snipes, who I'm going to bet has a ridiculous name. Like his character has like an absurd, like on the levels of, what's his name? Castor Troy. Right?
Castor Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is, but he is having so much fun. Wesley Snipes chews scenery hard.
He is loving it. Yeah, it is great.
What time are they coming from then?
I think they're coming from like when this movie was released, which I think
like
is
a couple years ahead of it, right?
Yeah.
90s?
For
Wesley
sure,
Snipes,
90s.
that's like 1990s. Can I just throw out a number?
Please.
Yeah.
That's
I
what we
don't
usually
know.
do.
This feels like I'm going to say 1994 because I was in college then and not paying a lot of attention to movies that weren't at the student union. So I'm going to assume somewhere around there.
I'm going to say 91 because I think it's earlier in a certain bee making sweetheart.
When did I'm trying to remember when Rodman started dyeing his hair so much, because I feel like these like happened almost in parallel.
Oh, interesting.
Or at least in my child brain, they happened around the same time, because Wesley Snipes has his hair like bleach blonde in this movie.
92.
I'm going to say 90.
Is that your guess?
Is that your Beth guess?
That's my Beth guess.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to say 93 to be contrarian.
All right.
Wow.
Ooh, we got a full run.
Nice.
Excellent.
I
wrote it down.
Thank you, Molly.
Wow.
There's some foam. There's a car crash and some safety foam that really captured my imagination as a kid. That basically fills the entire car. As opposed to like an airbag, like the whole car fills up with foam and then someone has to be cracked out of it. I remember thinking like, yeah, that is a good idea. Future should do that.
It
is a good idea.
You know, they do that with bullet wounds in the field sometimes. Like in battle, if somebody gets like a bullet wound, there's like the stuff that they put in you to like hold everything as together as possible.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's like so insane. Anyway, safety foam.
It's like those vests that people can wear, and if they fall, it blows up.
Whoa.
I guess that's more like an airbag.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the same idea, though. It's like an all-over protection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other fun future things are there?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
There is I actually don't want to spoil it because I want people to have a genuine reaction. There's an ongoing gag in the movie about how the new future way of using the bathroom is very confusing for Sylvester Stallone.
And I don't think they ever explain it. I don't
think so.
Dan's bet, that's the last line of the movie. LOL, how do
I do the
work?
thing? Yeah. But it's like an ongoing thing. And it is presented as like, LOL, it's so obvious, but Sylvester Stallone can't figure it out.
He's a dumb meathead.
Like, not obvious to the audience, obvious to like the contemporaries that he's dealing with, who are just like, it's how do you not know how to use? Yeah. It's delightful. It's so stupid.
Did we talk about before how you poop in space?
Did we talk about that?
Yeah, because I have in my mind there was an interview with someone talking about having to practice pooping because they have you practice with mirrors because you basically have to back up to a very specific dock.
Yeah,
it's not like it's not like on a hose. They can't adjust.
I'm unclear how it currently works, but this particular astronaut, maybe this is what, but they would have to like basically dock their butt.
Yeah. Like aim.
Their anus. Yeah. They'd have to get it right there because you don't want any of that poop floating around.
No, you don't.
Oh, gosh.
But I mean,
and then there's
think about
gravity. So is it a vacuum? It's just like you put your butt in a vacuum tube?
I think so, right?
I mean, because I think that could cause damage though, right? If it's not like a very gentle vacuum.
I'm sure it's I mean, you don't need much force in 0G to move poop. So it's probably pretty gentle.
But that's got to be pretty wild to try to get your body to poop in that context.
Yes.
And in that, that's got to be so weird.
I mean, even the preamble has got to be so anxiety inducing because even on Earth, there's a little bit of that, right? Of just I just need to make sure my butt's in the right place, but it's a big target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just ramp that up 100 times in 0G.
But I think about this every time I see a futuristic movie where everything is so cool,
you were gonna say every
right?
day.
Every day. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Every time you sit on the toilet, you're like, thank God I'm not in space.
Yes.
But actual space travel is so dangerous and precarious, and you have stuff like
Dan?
that.
Are your ears perking up?
Yeah, it sounds like we shouldn't do it.
No, but we still should.
I mean, we should send robots, but the robots should also poop.
Okay.
That's only fair.
That I get on board with.
Dan's back.
I don't think there's any space in this movie. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's all on Earth?
Yeah, I think it's in...
Is it like New York City?
I think it's Los Angeles.
Oh, but it's probably got some future name, right? It's
I
probably
think it
like
does.
New Los Angeles.
I think it's like an LOL, yeah. Dan's bet swearing is illegal in the future.
That's right.
Fun.
Is this like a Pleasantville situation?
It's got a little bit of Utopia vibes, which is why
Okay.
the underground exists.
Right. The way that Sylvester Stallone butts heads is he is the kind of character you'd expect Sylvester Stallone to play in the 90s, and now he's in this incredibly sanitized future. So he is, I mean, honestly, it's probably now that we're going to see it now, it's probably going to be there are parts that'll feel a little uncomfortably propaganda of just this buff warrior cop man, he's the only one that can save us in this future liberal paradise or whatever.
Yeah, that is
There's definitely going to be some of that subtext. Yeah, me too. But it's also very stupid, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Is there more than one woman that might be speaking?
Ooh, great question.
I feel like there's definitely some scenes in the police office generally, and I feel like there's some women there.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they named, though?
I feel like no.
Do they even speak? Or are they just watermelon in the background?
That would be a new way of measuring the Bechdel-Wallace test is
Bechdel watermelon?
two women even...
Wallace Melon.
Wallace Melon. Do two women even speak to each other at all?
Even visually?
I guess we've certainly experienced even visually.
Yeah.
I think there might be a grumpy older cop lady.
Like Dispatch or Chief or something? I'm going to be optimistic and say that Snipes has a lady evil terrorist buddy.
And she talks to...
someone who is also a lady. Maybe it'll be like Total Recall the bad one, and she'll just call our beloved heroine a bitch, and that's how we pass.
Oh, that could be.
Or almost pass. Didn't even pass, right? I'm trying to remember.
I don't
Go re-listen to our
she
Totes
doesn't
Recall the bad one.
respond.
Yeah, okay.
Aliens. Alien or aliens, but no, she doesn't even respond.
Well,
so
in
it still doesn't
Aliens,
pass.
she can't respond because she's a xenomorph queen that doesn't talk.
Well, fair.
Wow.
But Aliens passes all the time.
Oh, right.
There's that girl.
Aliens does.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. There's no way that this movie passes the Bechdel-Wallace test.
Great.
I'm just going to say hard no.
Great.
Okay. hard pass on pass.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, across the board.
I'm saying yes. I'm being optimistic.
Okay, I'm saying.
I'm
no.
saying that two women are going to call each other a bitch.
Here, also, Dan, I'll join you in that just for fun.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's not that fun, but
Well, it's just less lonely
Yeah.
to be an optimist. I will tell you, I have 3 pages of notes, and I'm going to not be able to follow any of this.
this is why Dan
There you
just stopped trying, I think.
There's also a very fun romance scene that's got LOLs because future romance is
There's
too
a lot of
sterile and
LOLs.
futuristic.
Yeah. This movie's
All right.
chock-a-block of, it's basically the whole movie, I think, is like, it's LOLs, Wesley Snipes does something violent, LOLs, Sylvester Stallone finds Wesley Snipes and tries to do something violent to him, more LOLs, then the big action set piece where they do all the violence to each other.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's how this movie goes.
it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write down violence, LOL, repeat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to bet that there are some other recognizable actors that will be like, oh, hey, it's that person.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like if
love
it's
it.
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if he like deals with like a police station, like there has to be like a couple of just like, you know, just random character actors who are there to say like 3 lines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Great.
Yep. Great.
Well, Molly, how should we rate this movie?
Great question.
Based on running Blade Runners.
Running Blade Runners.
Blade
Mm-hmm.
Runners. Is a running blade a thing?
Oh.
Like, is this a product?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's so when you're going through a deep vegetation trail running, it's for ultra runners.
Mhm.
Oh.
You can just hack away.
It's like a
As
machete
you-
shoe?
It's a shoe?
Yeah, it's a machete shoe.
Wow.
Wow. Running Blade, Running Man. Wait, Running Blade
Mhm.
Runners?
Running blade
Running
runners.
Blade Runners, but I like Running Blade Runner Man even more because I assume that's the dance.
Oh, there's a dance.
There's an associated dance?
Yeah,
your
there's an associated
machetes?
dance.
Now is the
With your
dance
machetes.
now okay, is the dance like was it organically created through like the TikTok culture or was a PR agency heavily involved?
You know, a little bit of both.
Mm.
Who can tell where ideas come from anymore?
Sure. Yeah.
Before we get too far into this, running blades are actually a real thing that people who have amputations will use to run
Oh, the
with.
blade guy. That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah, those are badass.
But who says that they can't also have blades on the end?
Well, these are that's true. There's some
But then
character
it
in a
gets-
movie
gets
that has,
darker
like a
'cause
sword like
That's Paralympic
Well-
guy. Like,
oh yeah, he
Should
like
we just
murdered
go
his
with-
girlfriend, right? Yeah.
I think he just got out
okay,
of prison.
let's-
Machete shoe.
Let's machete shoe.
Machete
You
shoe.
took the word right out of my mouth, Dan. I was just about to say machete shoe.
Yeah.
It explains itself.
Wesley Snipes sponsored Machete shoe. He's a spokesperson.
Yes.
Machete shoe. Because, you know, he has
Yep.
to get all that tax money
Yes.
recouped.
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 So he had to take.
Is he in trouble with taxes?
Oh, he has been in trouble for decades.
Snipes?
I don't know if he still is, but oh yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he got hit
no.
hard for tax
Come on,
evasion
Wesley.
years ago.
Oh boy.
But also, like,
Poor-
I'm sure he'd argue, like, what am I getting out of it? Which,
All right.
you
Yeah.
know, as a
Mhm.
black man in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, can you blame him?
Yeah. Oh, Blades. Wesley Snipes. I didn't even think about that.
Oh shit, that's amazing.
He played
Machete
Blade
shoe blades, yes.
in the Blade trilogy,
Oh.
which we should
Yes.
also watch.
Yeah, we should. Well, yes. And then he can still use then he can bring back his classic line from that movie. Some motherfuckers always
What is
trying to run
that?
uphill, and when they do, they better be wearing machete shoes. Right?
All right. Yeah. We got
This
there.
is incredible. I love
got
that
there.
I love
Okay.
that because someone committed a murder, we have created a rating
Oh.
scale that is so much more appropriate for a different Wesley Snipes movie that we're not watching.
Yeah.
That rocks. Not the murder part, but where we ended
No.
up.
Okay. Well, how many
Hey,
machete
athletes?
shoe blade?
Stop murdering your spouses.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we just stop with the murder generally?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
agree.
It's just uncool.
Sure.
That's, can't wait to watch this movie that has a bunch of murders.
Yeah,
in it,
probably does.
probably.
But
Dan,
they're
you
like,
go first?
huh?
Rating. I'm trying to jump into rating scale.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay.
I also have to go to
do.
the bathroom real bad.
Okay. Yes, I go first because
But not in space.
No.
I think this movie is going to be a real blast to watch because I remember it being so ridiculous and stupid and just a goofball 90s action comedy. Wesley Snipes is going to be all over the place, bananas. And I think it'll be fun. 4 machete shoes.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
I think Beth's second, and we all know that.
We do.
Yep, we do. It sounds like it's going to be a fun movie, but also I feel like it's the kind of movie that's going to have enough unfun things in it that it's going to drop. So I'm going to also go with 4 machete shoes.
Nice.
Ooh.
I'm shooting for the stars,
Yes.
and I'm going with 5 machete shoes. I think it's a wackadoo ride. I think it's going to have some bummers, but I think it's going to be buoyed by its overall wackiness.
Nice.
5 machete shoes.
I'm going to give it a cowardly 3
Mm-hmm.
because I don't understand any of what's happening. And that gives me room to grow.
Great.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we're going to pause, go watch Demolition Man, and we'll be right back.
This is Beth Gibbs from the podcast Totes Recall. You may have heard of it.
Recently,
I'm here
in
to
fact.
tell you about some cool stuff. If you head on over to patreon.com/totesrecall, you can become a patron of this very podcast,
Wow.
which will support the creation of this show and other cool stuff that we do, like bonus content, live shows, etc. There's different sorts of levels that you can sign up for. So the lowest level you can sign up for is only $1 a month.
That's so cheap.
What is the highest level, Beth?
The highest level is whatever your heart desires.
Get that orb,
So-
baby. Get that custom
Get
orb.
an orb.
Get an orb, you Richie.
I believe that's $1 million a month.
I think so, yeah.
You can get a Totes Recall branded orb.
Custom
Or for,
orb.
yes, custom. Or for $1 a month, you can get access to our Discord where we chat about everything and movies. And also bonus content. Okay, also one of the levels is that you can contribute a certain amount of money a month. Find out by going to patreon.com/totesrecall, and you can get a shout out on the podcast.
What you guys can't
So-
see right now is that Dan is looking across the table from Beth and giving the like stretch it out motion.
Yeah.
Those people are.
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Heather Meyer,
Heather Meyer.
Yeah.
Nicholas Kosak,
Nicholas
Yay,
Kozak.
Nick.
Cossack.
and Ben Gardner.
It was a spooky
Gardner.
Ben
What's up?
Gardner.
I was trying to do kind of like a Don Pardo
Oh,
kind of
right.
thing.
Like
It was good. It was good.
featuring that guy.
Featuring,
Got it.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Thank you to those 3 people.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
supporting
much
us
for being
on
patrons.
.com/totesrecall.
.com.
I was worried there. You didn't do it the first time. I thought you were something was happening.
Anyway, I think I nailed it.
Totally.
And let's go back to the show.
And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 55 minutes of like LOL, fish out of water, one-liners, and just an excessive amount of violence, fire and ice.
Wow.
Oh, fire
Wow.
and ice.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
All those things are true.
LOLs happened. Violence happened. Fire happened. Ice happened.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss Game movie came out in 1993.
Oh,
Someone bet.
yes. And that
Dan
person
Linden.
was Dan Linden.
Wow.
I'm jumping off of something.
But I feel like we should all remember that Molly bravely went first and put a stake in the ground in 94.
Sure.
That's pretty
So
close.
That's very brave.
pretty close.
Especially
That's
since
very
you
brave.
didn't pick an entire
So
decade.
brave, so strong.
I did not pick the whole decade, so we'll give me an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Great job. Also, Dan. 93. And the air is thick with 1993 in this movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Although it starts in 1996.
Yes.
That's right. Which is LA has become a hellscape.
LA has literally fallen to criminal gangs, like the entire city in 3 years.
Hollywood
Also
side
has future
is on
jails
fire.
in it.
The Hollywood sign is eternally on fire, apparently. Or it was just set on fire like a few minutes earlier. I don't know.
Who knows? But Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes' character, has taken over, I don't know, an explosives factory.
Oh, do we want
to
do a award-winning segment before we get too deep into what the accurate future predictions of this movie?
That's right. Speaking of things that are on fire,
our winning streak, baby.
Our winning streak for this segment, 60-second summary, in which we summarize the movie we just watched, Demolition Man, in 60 seconds exactly.
Yes.
The tradition on this podcast is that I volunteered to do it.
Yep.
That is true.
So I guess I'm going to do it.
If you want.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, poor
I can do it.
Dan. I hope
can do
you're
it.
feeling better soon.
Are you ready?
This movie invigorated me, yeah.
Okay. Go.
Yeah, we open on 1996. LA is a hellscape. Simon Phoenix has captured a busload of people, and John Spartan has to free them, but he's a hot cop, and he blows up the building because there's C4 everywhere, and everybody thinks that he killed all the bus people, but twist, he didn't. Anyway, Simon Phoenix and John Spartan both get frozen for 36 years. Simon Phoenix is released, and then in a future society that is way too calm, their comms are heavily evaluated, and their only option is to unfreeze John Spartan. You gotta get a maniac to catch a maniac.
10 seconds.
LOL, the future is calm, and John Spartan just wants to eat meat, and bang, and in the end, Sandra Bullock is on his side, and
time.
kill Simon Phoenix.
Time.
Damn it.
Wow. I think you covered literally everything.
Like every
and
moment.
None of us have done that before, but you somehow, every single plot point,
incredible.
Character.
Yeah. Very detailed.
It's plenty of time to summarize the movie.
Listen, there's a reason we keep winning these awards.
Yeah.
But this award is going to be the best award for the most accurate 60-second summary.
Yeah.
Or the most
like
thorough.
1000% Utah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yep. I do want to say that as we're talking about it, because I have this very heavy-handed fire kind of reference at the beginning and then ice reference at the end, and realizing that Simon Phoenix rises from the ashes.
Yeah.
Ooh. And I think his first name is Simon just so he can make multiple Simon Says.
Absolutely.
Too many Simon
That
Says.
is absolutely why his first name is Simon.
It would have been good if they did it one time, but they did it 3 times.
It's so corny.
It's every time.
He just shoots someone and says, Simon Says bleed, and then starts shooting his gun.
Yeah. It's amazing.
They're like that. Yeah.
And I think at one point, isn't there one point where Sylvester Stallone says like, "Yeah, didn't say Simon Says," and then like throws something at him or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. A major theme of this movie is just one-liners.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's wall to wall.
It's
just almost all one-liners and then dialogue that to me made no sense whatsoever.
Wall-to-wall liners.
Wall liners.
Yeah, I think Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone like maybe spoke like 4 sentences to each other that were more than like 4 words long throughout the entire movie. Because almost every interaction they had was just like, "Watch your head. Simon Says you suck," or whatever.
Yeah, and none of them are that good.
No, they're not.
But I think some of them are improvised.
Oh, they have to be. Or like either improvised or 80 yard later because they were like, have him say something else right here. Like some note from the studio or something.
But I don't want to give short shrift because some of these lines are hilarious. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed most of this script. except the truly discriminatory, cringy parts. But there were so many just A-plus jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You're on TV, and then
that's what it was. That's what it was. That was incredible. That was so good.
That one was so dumb.
And it wasn't even.
And to be
You're on TV.
Go ahead, Beth.
To be clear, he says you're on TV, and then he throws a TV.
Yeah.
He swings it by the cord.
You would think,
like, how is that the best way to get leverage on a TV?
and you would think in a movie like this, if your action hero says you're on TV, they're definitely like smashing someone's head through a TV screen, right? No,
Yes.
No,
it's
he's
like
just
a
trying to
little.
whip him with it like it's
like
a rope or
it's
something.
like a little like the kind of TV that like your dad would put in his garage back in the early '90s because he just like needs a minute. Right, and yeah, he just like whips it at him like a what are those called? Like a
Bolo?
mace chain.
Oh, sure, Morning Star.
Thingamajig. Yeah, like a morning star.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That one was pretty good, but my favorite one. So one of the things in this future, I guess, society is that they always tell each other to be well. Like everything is around being like healthy and good. So at one point somebody says be well, and Stallone just says be fucked.
Yes.
Yeah. It's A+ script
It was amazing.
Oh, and I think we've gone many minutes without even mentioning Sandra Bullock,
who
delivers a priceless performance.
Arguably
Like,
the reason most of the jokes work.
Oh my gosh.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Her sly little smile while messing up idioms and making them very sexual. It was like some Betty White level work. It was really excellent.
She understood the assignment. Like, she was such a perfect, just like weirdly infantilized, like, I don't know. Like, she managed to maintain that wholesome demeanor the entire time.
Yeah, she's like the naive cop, but also the one who understands the vulgar 20th century because she's like obsessed with that time period.
Yeah.
And so can be Stallone's guide through the future.
Right.
But the future speak of this movie is
Bananas.
wild. And it seems very hard, the sort of thing to memorize. Like, you're memorizing dialogue, and when it's things that normal people say, it's easier because it makes sense.
Yes.
But like, yeah, just the word choices are great. I loved it.
It's wild.
I couldn't figure out the rules to how they spoke. Like sometimes it would be like they spoke like an android almost, where they like didn't use contractions, or like they would like say things in a strange way. But also there were times where they always say joy instead of just joy.
It's the future, Beth.
Enjoy,
but
joy.
what are the rules?
Evaluate
It
your
made it
cop.
so confusing. Honestly, I could not keep track of what they were talking about because I was like, what are they doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like they always said everyone's full names.
Mm-hmm.
They always.
And her last name is Huxley, of course.
Leanne.
Oh, for Aldous Huxley?
For Aldous Huxley.
Yeah.
Brave New
Brave
World, baby.
World, baby.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Which I think Wesley Snipes references at one point, but not like in a clever way.
Yeah.
I feel like he just
it's
says
a brave
it.
new world, baby.
And something, and then like says like Simon
Shoot
says, "Suck my dick" or whatever,
Yeah.
and then shoots a gun that may or may not have already been preloaded for its museum display.
It's confusing.
One of our big action set pieces that we alluded to before is in the History Museum, because Simon Phoenix has to go find guns.
Yes.
And
you know
all
he needs to
guns are
find a gun
outlawed.
because he goes to a phone booth and asks the computer for G for gun.
Yeah. And he has immense hacking skills. It's
Yes.
It's revealed over the movie that it's all a plot by the head of society
Yeah.
to kill Dennis Leary, the head of the underground people.
Edgar Friendly.
Edgar Friendly. Because they're stealing food sometimes. Like, are they really that big of a pain in the
No,
butt for him?
it's just he's just a disruption to the control.
Sure.
And
Much like Uber.
we learned how much of a disruption he is when they basically just let Dennis Leary do a tight five in the middle of the movie, like explaining his values.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was selected for this film based on his rants, and he had to keep rewriting his rant until he finally got it approved by the studio?
Huh. I do believe that.
Yeah.
Because like
it makes sense.
Yeah, anytime he was allowed to talk for more than 2 seconds, it was just like, oh, he's just doing his stand-up routine.
Yeah.
Like it did sometimes feel like, oh, we'll just write the movie around Dennis. It's fine.
Yeah, so sorry, he was playing, we should fill in, he was playing sort of the reluctant leader of the underground world,
Yes.
the scraps, people who are considered scraps. Before we get too far into this, the thing that I was thinking about is I understand this is all taking place in San Angeles, right? The newly formed, like, 3 counties or 4 counties or whatever.
A metroplex.
What is happening in the rest of the country?
Great question.
What are the rules and laws like in other, like, let's say Utah?
I don't know. It seems, my guess is that San Angeles has broken off after the big one, the earthquake in 2010.
Oh.
And now they're their own weird country.
Yeah, because there's like that fault line that like
San
goes,
Andreas,
Yeah, there's that nice line where she says, because of course, because we understand Sylvester Stallone is a good man.
Yes.
The first thing he inquires about isn't the criminal, but his wife.
Yeah.
And Sandra Bullock very sweetly says,
wife.
her light was extinguished in the big one.
Yeah.
Of 2010.
Of 2010, which is a little unnerving. But then there's this whole storyline they decided not to go forward with where he asks about his daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, like,
What?
they really
What's
should
the deal
have.
with his daughter?
Yeah.
They really should have just cut out him even asking the question.
Because you can't help but
wonder. And audiences, much like Beth K. Gibbs, are like, oh no, is Sandra Bullock his daughter?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Because
why else do they allude to him having a daughter?
Because he's
like,
a
she's
good
like, I can
man.
look. It's such a weird moment because she's like, I can look it up, because you're like, oh my gosh, are you gonna find out that's his daughter? And then they touch hands and then it's like weirdly sexual instead.
Yeah.
And I just did not like that.
But she isn't his daughter.
Turns out she isn't.
We don't think.
In the
I mean, as
original,
far as we
it
know.
was one of the scraps. That Dennis Leary. So this woman randomly appears in a couple places, but you don't notice her because she's not. They cut out all these parts because the movie was already an hour and 55 minutes.
Yeah.
When you say the original one, are you saying like the first draft of the film, or was there a movie before this one?
Oh, no, I think it was the first cut of the film.
Okay.
And they decided later to we just got to cut out this whole
Okay.
storyline.
The more interesting version of this film would be to have the leader of the underground be his daughter, but that would require of them to written another
They'd have to put
woman character with multiple lines of dialogue and a name and a
And then Dennis
backstory.
Leary couldn't do his bits.
Yeah. Oh, I want to eat ham and steak and smoke a French fry or whatever. I'm an asshole.
That was a whole thing. This movie really is like a 1993 time capsule.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like
It is-
PC culture. But we didn't call it, did we call it then? That then?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Well,
I
maybe.
think that PC
Politically
stuff exploded in
correct.
the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was around the time Limbaugh came around, and I'm not sure, but that seems about right. But apparently the screenwriter wasn't trying to make a movie that was anti-PC, and that's why they added in those ham-handed lines at the end where they're like, maybe you should get a little dirtier, and you should get a little cleaner. Ah, ha, ha. Sort it out.
Yeah. The movie tries to thread this like fascinating moral line where it's like there is like there's like they acknowledge that like Simon Phoenix is like this chaos monster, and the only way to stop him is to get like an LA cop from our time. And they even show video of Sylvester Stallone like basically doing what you would expect an LA cop to be doing, just like slamming people to the hood of his car and shit. And it's just presented as like, yes, he is this savage brute, but also we need him. And it's like this very weird message where like, because they even have Sylvester Stallone say just like, oh, I'm not just hurting people to hurt them. I'm doing my job. But it's like, Okay, but you're also like constantly just like whipping people's asses for probably no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the Demolition Man.
Yeah, his nickname is Demolition Man.
It's very clear that he is the Demolition
And he even
Man.
says,
They say it 100 times.
Yeah, and his catchphrase is even, "Oh, you gotta send a maniac to catch a maniac." It's like, okay, so you even acknowledge that you probably should not be a cop. Like your mental profile. It's wild. I don't know.
That one scene where Sandra Bullock is like looking back on videos of him from back in 1996.
Yeah.
And he's like carrying this little girl out of the rubble of a mall. And the reporter, liberal media, the reporter asks, as he's carrying this like 4 or 5 year old, maybe 6, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, he's like, was it worth demolishing a $10 million mall in order to save a little girl who's being held for $25,000 ransom? And it's an amazing moment because I did not expect it anyway. The little girl just turns and says, "Fuck you."
Which, honestly, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And by the way, my name is Claire.
Oh, right. And you are Mrs. Johnson, reporter for WXLZ.
Yeah. It almost feels like they wrote the movie, be like, this is badass. Yeah. And the future's not badass. And then they got halfway through, like, wait a minute. This is way more political than we wanted it to be. Pull back.
Totally. Yeah, because like it has this, it's such this like satirical, like honestly pretty successful like satirical version of like a very sanitized America.
Yeah.
But yeah, like because of the like basic premise of the movie, it's like the hero, the whole point of the movie is that like the hero has to be this like monstrous, questionably ethical, brutal police officer from the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, it rules.
Yeah.
I want to say though about Sylvester Stallone, like this was his acting in this movie is so good in that, like, I think this is the first time he was doing something fairly comedic. I'm not sure, but like there's a scene where Sandra Bullock's character wants to have sex with him.
Great scene.
And
Great scene.
Not having realized that like there's no fluid transfer. It's a very cerebral activity.
I never want to hear a fluid transfer ever again.
Not even, what was it? Not even mouth.
Mouth
fluid
Mouth
transfer.
fluid transfer.
Yeah.
Kissing's not allowed. Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
The
That's right.
I was a good kisser too. His facial expressions during the sex scene were so good. Like they kept cutting to like weird flashes of like sexy digital Sandra Bullock and then back to him where he was like kind of into it but so confused, and he like you could read it on his face. It was amazing.
Yeah, we should
like
describe it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Sex is they take out these helmets, and I guess you sort of have like VR sex with each other just by thinking hard about how horny you are.
Yeah. She said it was a transfer of sexual energies.
That's right, alpha waves or whatever.
Yeah.
But he achieves this full range of emotions.
That's incredible.
At one point, it's like watching a Saint Bernard trying not to think about eating a bone.
Yes.
Like it's just so good. Like it's so believable. And there are moments where he's just doing his like action movie shtick, and other moments where you're like, all right, good on you. I believe that.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if it had not been Sandra Bullock with her infinite charm, like this movie would not have succeeded.
Absolutely. Fallen flat on its face. Like Sandra Bullock is the only reason that character works and is endearing and not just like incredibly annoying or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She's great.
Like, and I don't think Benjamin Bratt did too bad either. But Benjamin Bratt is like the other cop who's nice, who gets on board. But he plays kind of a dummy. He's like a naive dummy as well. And I thought he did good too. But.
Yeah.
I love the idea that like somebody saw that movie and they're like, we have to get those two in a rom-com
their chemistry,
where they're both cops because their chemistry is unreal.
Do we want to believe that those two cops are the Miss Congeniality characters, like grandchildren or something? Or I guess just children.
Well, I hope they're not grandchildren because I'm assuming
No, as my it'd have to just be children. As my wife kept pointing out, no big deal, while we were watching it, she's like, it's not that far in the future. Like, why are they acting like all these things are so weird? Or like,
like a lot of those people would have been
alive.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why they're all of a sudden talking like that.
I don't know.
It's very weird.
Like like the closest thing you get to an actual real person is his, like, the one cop that he recognizes that still works there, who apparently just is like the most patient man in the world because he stayed on the force throughout this entire, like, brainwashing of the entire city or something.
LOL seashells.
LOL seashells.
The big laugh line of this movie is, as we talked about, Sylvester Stallone doesn't know how to wipe his butt in the future. There's no toilet paper. There's just 3 seashells. And so he goes and swears a bunch at the swear machine, who gives him a citation every time he swears.
So he can go ticket spitter. The swear ticket
wipe
spitter.
his butt with his ticket. So it had occurred to me this watch that whole scene before where he was making fun of him, he's got a poopy butt the whole time.
That's true, but
he didn't find anything to do in there. He just came out and was like, "You got a toilet paper."
Listen,
but I didn't make anything happen. Like, because I got to go back in.
Sylvester Stallone is a real man, and even though he hasn't pooped in 36 years, when he went to the bathroom and realized there was no toilet paper, he came back out to confront them about the lack of paper before he went to relieve himself.
He held on to it.
He has got like a sphincter of steel.
Okay.
That's going to hold back that 36-year-old poop.
I'd like to meet in the middle.
Sorry, please pretend I never said that.
No, I'd like to meet in the middle, because I think what happened is he did go, realize there's no toilet paper, and then, as we learned in the opening credits of the movie, he cinched up the tightest ass in the universe, which we got like a loving camera pan over as he was frozen in the nude during the opening credits. And we saw that he had a buns of steel. And I think he just like cinched it up, walked back out there, and knew with confidence that he was holding back.
That he had control.
He had complete control. No chance of any foreign matter touching those clothes.
All right, I accept that. Yeah, I always forget whenever I watch a Sylvester Stallone movie from the 90s that how much someone thought he was a sex symbol, because I guess the filmmakers, because you always get these shots of like him like in a way that is like, yeah, come on, get it. Sylvester Stallone.
And he did not drink a drop of water for like 3 weeks before they filmed that shot.
So, I mean, like there were so many points in this movie where like, I can't remember what it was. He was doing something somewhat mundane, and it was just like, it was still like center frame, just like his incredibly like shredded forearm with the veins like popping out of it like a topographical map.
Oh man, if we're going to talk about arms, I have to bring it back to Sandra Bullock just one more time, who I love. There is a great scene after they have mental sex where
they attempt sex.
Yeah.
He fucks it up.
You know, to her credit, he stops. Anyway,
she seemed to be getting somewhere though, so like she was doing okay.
She was doing okay. He was just too confused by it.
Which honestly, maybe that's what having sex with Sylvester Stallone is like in real life too.
Well, and then he tries to mouth kiss.
Fluid transfer, please.
In a sexy way, fluid transfer in a sexy way, and she is completely offended.
Rules. And
points his way out the door and tells him to leave her domicile. And it just so happens that her finger, like the edge of her arm and her finger are in the screen, like still in frame.
Yeah.
And she is acting with every muscle in her body. Maybe
the best point in cinema history.
Literal fingertips is the stress and tension of get out of my house. It's incredible.
Yeah, like she puts her body in like a complete right angle when she does that, and it's incredible.
That's so good.
She's great. I can't get enough of Lieutenant Huxley or whatever.
Huxley, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of ranks, he's a detective. The Demolition Man maniac who jumps screaming out of a helicopter and blows up buildings made detective?
Yeah.
You're telling me this dude, like, is a super sleuth who solves crimes by gathering evidence and interviewing perps and suspects?
He gathers evidence in those arms
That's what
and
I
then
mean.
interviews him with his fists.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, I'm on board, Beth. You're right. I get it now.
I mean, he does like get to the truth.
He gets results.
With, he does get results, and he does get that not confession, maybe that brag from Wesley Snipes' character Simon Phoenix.
Oh, so you're saying
how-
he was playing the long game?
Oh yeah,
Like all of this was just to get that confession on that half-damaged auto car that was driving down the street.
yes.
Nice.
Oh, those cars were great. Did you know those were real General Motors, like concept cars?
Oh,
They borrowed one that was functioning and they made just a bunch of replicas and made those the police force. But they really did have those like Tesla X-Wing style things. And then they insisted that they return the concept cars to General Motors when they were done.
Yeah, they do a good job of looking like a future car.
yeah, where it's
They're
like
just
kind of
like
shitty.
oblong. Yeah. Like too small.
Yeah. And like I like how I do like how I mean honestly like with the way auto driving is going in our current era, like I do like the idea that when you select auto drive it like aggressively constricts the steering wheel so it's like no longer graspable.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of
Pretty
sense,
great.
honestly.
Don't want to be able to get control back.
Yeah.
There is so much about this movie that actually is a little unnerving. There's like a real life Zoom meeting that I was like, yep,
Oh, yeah, that
that's
was weird.
accurate.
Everybody's face is on a rotating slab with a screen on it.
Okay, I might have like just stepped out of the room for a second when he was confronting Lord Mayor Dr. Cocteau or whatever, and like he was on the Zoom slabs, but then all of a sudden he had a gun to his head.
No, it made no sense.
Okay.
I also missed that. I looked down. And
No,
it was
because, okay, he is a real life detective
Okay.
who is able to notice the assistant, his like monk like assistant, glancing over nervously to the side.
Oh.
He follows his gaze and is like, this guy is like the Wizard of Oz
Sure.
who's sitting close by.
But
In the same
was it the
room.
same room though?
No, it was like a different room, but it wasn't far away.
It seemed like the same room.
Or is it like a second conference room? Is that why it was confusing?
I think it was just like a little, like behind a fake wall.
Okay. Yeah, because when I note like the part I like my brain processed, it seemed like Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock had walked into that conference room. All of the video slabs were confronting Sylvester Stallone. And then the greatest detective of 1996 just walked to the other end of the table and found the guy in a chair with his back to him.
He's the Batman of his time.
He really is.
That absolutely is what happened.
Okay.
That's what it looked like to me.
The geography of it was a little messed up because it's a glass wall that you're led to believe the guy is sort of glancing nervously in that direction. It's just the room mechanics are a little weird.
Yeah.
But that's not your fault.
Whose fault? My fault?
None of this is your
Oh,
fault.
thank you. Thank you. I really needed to hear that. It is wild how we kind of joked, or like I feel like maybe Dan was sort of explaining the dynamic in the first half about it's like they're basically Batman and the Joker, and it is bananas how like the cold open of this movie is basically what you might see in a Batman and Joker story, where like there's a big building on fire, there's a guy in a goofy outfit like cackling and threatening to kill people, and then a buff dude jumps out of a flying vehicle
Yeah.
and
There's
just
like a lot
starts
of
kicking
steam
ass.
and
Yeah.
like people in long coats and sunglasses
Yeah.
attack him one by one. Yeah. It felt
Yeah. Also, when he jumps out of the plane, he yells,
Phoenix! Which we then learn over the course of the movie was just an appetizer for man after man jumping off of something while screaming. Most of the time Sylvester Stallone, but occasionally a henchman. That was my MVP of the movie, was when they go down to the cryo prison to like confront Phoenix for the final act. And one of his henchmen, not Jesse Ventura, unfortunately, but one of his henchmen just like jumps off of like a little wall and just goes like,
yeah. That's basically
That's a good
the
scream.
final video game level of this movie, where he
Yes.
just has to beat up toughs to get to the boss.
yeah, and then has to figure out like a specific mechanical obstacle. You have to point and click on the right part of the arm that's holding him to get out of it.
He gets picked up by this giant crane, brought to you by Techno
That's
Crane.
right.
And Wesley Snipes has the opportunity to shoot him very easily.
And
He's being held in
gun.
one spot. He has a automatic weapon and still cannot hit him at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't even hit his leg or something. It's insane how bad his aim is.
And he's been studying up for 36 years to be the most ideal terrorist.
Right.
Whereas Sylvester Stallone has only learned how to knit.
Yep.
That was pretty funny, actually.
That was funny. It was great.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed that was like part of his brainwashing and he just wasn't, that wasn't like that was to show he was a good man. Like he just knew how to knit. Like he was just really good at it. But
yeah, everybody in cryo gets matrixed and have
Apparently.
skills downloaded into their brain.
Their
And you
butt
can knit.
that you can see. I love that the final set piece of this movie was just a bunch of like nude men in giant blocks of ice.
I am so curious about how they made those.
Yeah.
It looked like a wax version
Maybe.
of Sylvester Stallone early on when he gets frozen.
Oh, do you think that was the one that was on the floor with them at the end? Like, because they were like, well, we already made it. So let's just use that one again. Just
use
don't
the
show
back
his
end.
face.
Yeah.
And then true sleuths would be like, that's Stallone's butt.
Those
I
the
know that butt
ones.
from anywhere.
And I think we get a hint of dong in this.
Oh, yeah?
We get a pan over and there's like
Just a hint.
It's the shape.
some
Like when he's
pubes in a
being
root.
frozen or when
Him.
he's coming out of frozen?
When he's
Coming out of Frozen.
Yeah.
When he's being cut out.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, it's blurred by the ice,
I
Yeah.
see.
but it's there.
But we know what we're focused on.
Yeah. Speaking of getting out of the ice, that was one of many incredible examples of a computer helpfully letting us know what was going on with the best graphical interface I've ever seen in my life.
I love the computers in this.
So good.
It killed me that Sandra Bullock, all-star computer user,
Yes.
has like go through all the cameras to find Simon Phoenix, but she over and over she types on the keyboard and then says the command to the computer of what she wants to have happen,
And
then
then
the
it's
computer
on screen in
responses.
all caps.
Yeah,
What she
And then
said
again,
is
repeat.
on all.
type
Yeah.
something, say a command. I was like, what is this interface?
Maybe she has to type like, I would like to talk now, and then can
Yeah.
speak or something.
But this is exactly how I text. I'll type it in and then kind of mutter it out loud and hit send. So,
Yeah.
I'm from the future.
So maybe there is no speech technology she's using. She's just like typing in and then she says what she typed, and the
Yeah.
typing is what
So
actually
everybody
did
can
something.
follow.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the police chief is just like, can you say what you're typing aloud so I don't have to lean over? My back's really bad.
Yeah. The chief who is not on board with this plan to unfreeze Sylvester
He
Stallone.
calls him a caveman like 80
and
times.
it's like, he's in charge.
Yeah.
Why does he just say like, no, we're not doing that? But he goes along
Yeah.
with it, like, and then he's just like a whiny little brother, like, I told you this is a bad idea. I hate this idea, this primate out here.
I
But
guess
it's like,
we
you're in
learn-
charge, bud.
I guess we learned in the scene where they try to capture Simon Phoenix that like most of their training is just to say what they want more assertively over and over. So like maybe
Yeah.
that's why he didn't do anything, because he was just like, oh, I tried my best. I told them no really hard.
Yeah.
And they kept dogging Neanderthals or Neandertals, depending on what school you go to.
Oh.
They kept dogging them. And the whole time I was like, oh, can you forage for your own food and survive? I don't think so.
No,
are
you
you-
can only go to Taco Bell.
You have to go to Taco Bell.
That's right. Who
the last
won the
remaining
franchise
restaurant.
wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hope that was a military operation. I want to believe that was like full on,
Probably.
like paramilitary, like mixed soldiers coming down
Yeah.
the roads.
Big soldier.
Yeah,
Yum Foods got the win.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, PepsiCo drones just flying over every major city.
Well, I do love that McDonald's and Burger King were both like, nah, but Taco Bell was like, yes.
Hell yes.
We could really use the publicity.
And I think they
man.
had a pretty aggressive tie-in as well, if I remember.
did they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you could get a Taco Bell soda without Wesley Snipes staring out at you.
Yeah.
Nice.
That blue eye, brown eye thing was interesting. Oh, and his hair, his blonde hair.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was Rodman mentioned that as a source of inspiration.
Aha.
Ah. So, Dan.
Do you know Dennis Rodman?
Are you asking me?
No.
me?
Molly, how did she know?
Did you meet it at one of your communist gatherings?
For the record, oh yeah, when your student group went to visit North Korea, was Dennis Rodman there already?
No, I just use the internet.
Oh,
okay.
well, moving on.
Good job. We haven't really talked about how great Wesley Snipes is.
Oh
in
my
this.
God,
He's just going so hard, and I loved it.
he's
Such a
loving every
maniac.
second. Yeah,
Yeah. Except when he is weirdly racist for no reason at all.
Oh, that was
has to have been an
upsetting.
improv thing, right?
I don't know.
Well, either way,
No, it's not good either way, but like it just that feels like the kind of thing where they're just like, Wesley, just go nuts. Like the cameras are on, just like do what you have to do. Like your job is just to go to this panel and then otherwise just go nuts.
I guess he's supposed to play a villain,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It does. It adds
I
nothing.
mean,
No.
killing
was
people is
unnecessary.
plenty.
Yeah.
Right.
Murder, death, kill.
Murder, death, kill.
Murder, death,
MDK.
kill. Ugh, I'm so annoyed by the future. I hate Hollywood.
It is
supposed to hate
exhausting.
it.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, you gotta have some meat and smoke your cigarettes. They
Yeah.
banned
Oh,
salt. Salt's a required nutrient.
That's
Your body
wild.
shuts down without salt.
There is no way Taco Bell could survive if they weren't allowed to use salt. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like they have that whole bit where they're like, no chocolate either. Because at one point I was like, so far you're just describing Mormonism with like no caffeine and no alcohol.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chocolate.
But also
I was
no
like,
murder.
ooh. Yeah, that's fair.
But like in the future, if everything is like so clean and like pleasant and all that, why can't they just say, why do they have to say murder, death, kill? Why can't it just be murder? I don't get it. What are the rules?
It's because everybody's so unfamiliar with it. They have to use 3 different words so that
Just
they
in
get the point
case,
across.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
someone's gonna know one of these.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we go on, I just want to compliment you on all of your solid bets that you put in the top half.
Oh, wow.
All of it. Wesley Snipes is the villain. There are future clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's no stopping of a comet. That was me.
That's too
Never
bad.
mind.
That's too
Something
bad.
else. Sylvester Stallone doesn't trust the system. He was framed. There's a museum. They shoot guns. People live underground. Wesley Snipes has an absurd name. Yes. He chews the scenery.
Yes.
You're dang right. There's a car crash with safety foam.
Yeah.
Great call,
Worked great.
Dan.
Stallone
ongoing-
describes it. Oh, a car suddenly turned into a cannoli.
Yeah.
Great line. Great line.
There's some we talked about poop anxiety. That's not related.
I mean, there was some poop anxiety for old Sly.
Yeah. You had to
That's true.
pinch one off with his buns.
Yeah.
my
Or pinch one
Sweet.
in.
Oh, do you think he kept it up?
Ooh.
Did you not listen to my entire soliloquy?
Yeah, I thought he was just holding on to it. Like,
Okay.
somehow.
All right.
I didn't quite.
Okay.
follow.
All
Not
right.
holding on, just like closing the gates,
Oh, okay.
like sealing the gates.
Sure.
Yeah.
The one miss we had was that there would be a grumpy cop lady in dispatch
rough.
or
Yeah,
chief.
that was my hope for Bechdel Wallace Pass, which I think
There was-
hard fail, right?
Literally a point
Hard
where
fail.
Sandra Bullock hands something to another woman. It's like, do whatever for this for me, will you? And she's like, okay. But she's not like, good
Yeah.
job, detective lady
Franklin.
person.
Detective
No.
lady.
Not even once. And then there were the baddies. Like
Ugh.
Wesley Snipes has given a I don't know, pep talk to the baddies.
Yeah.
And there are women
There.
and they're just there to be baddie women.
Yeah.
They don't even get to cheers at the end.
Yeah.
They
They
probably
say
don't even get any of
nothing.
those sick pretzels that they're all eating at the pool table. That really made me laugh too. All these like badasses sitting around with their tire armor. They just have
Just-
2 baskets of pretzels.
Eating like mini
Including-
pretzels.
Yeah.
Including Jesse Ventura. I think Dan mentioned
Yeah.
that earlier, but like he doesn't even have a line. It didn't seem like.
No, I don't think so.
But he was credited in the beginning of the
They
Yeah.
movie.
cut out his fight scene.
Rough.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you?
It's rough.
I'm just realizing like the Underground was essentially like the adult version of Teen Town in the Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Just rat burgers and
Rat burgers, beer, pretzels at a pool table, a cool old car.
Which, I mean, I'm not much of a gearhead, but when I think muscle car, I don't think Oldsmobile. But I guess it is
General
one.
Motors was the one who were
Yeah.
in control of the whatever cars.
Yeah, cars. I mean, that was a hot rod, if I've seen one.
Yep.
Speaking
Checks
of hot
out.
rod, we saw his
What?
penis, maybe.
Yeah, oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, also
there
Rob
is a
Schneider's
terrible...
in this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yep. He's there.
He sure is there.
Hot Rob.
He's fine.
He is fine.
He's fine.
But
He does a
also-
good job.
Okay, I was looking at the cast list. It also said Jack Black was in it.
I
What?
saw that too, and I was
Oh.
like, is that the Jack Black or just a Jack Black? Because he's just
it
a
has
baddie,
his photo,
right?
but I didn't see him.
Oh, I didn't see him, but I saw his name in the credits.
Maybe
so.
he was one of the undergrounders.
Yeah,
and
93. He might just be a scrapper running around being a scrapper.
It does say Wasteland Scrap.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yep.
know what the rest of that
It
is.
could be
because
Maybe he
anything.
was a kid
it didn't
scrap
cut off.
back then, or a teen scrap. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Scrapper?
That is
Scrap.
scrapper.
Pretty much everyone in this movie is recognizable in some way.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot.
the chief I
entire.
recognize.
Oh, yeah.
The old wise police officer. The
Otho.
Otho,
Otho from
Otho.
Beetlejuice.
whatever his real name is.
The leader seems like he was probably in Caligula or something.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
In every
Oh, yeah.
Roman
Well,
movie.
Yeah, it was just a city full of that guys for sure.
Yeah.
yep. Well, you know what that guy Dan did
What?
is he posted in our Discord
Great transition.
for
Oh.
fan engagement.
Oh, hold on,
which
Beth.
will-
What's that
yes.
coming in behind you on a little parachute? Is that an award for best segue? Oh!
It's just a tiny man in a tiny
Screaming.
parachute.
Sorry, Molly. Continue.
So I am going to
Wait, what happens
now
on Discord? I interrupted you.
Oh, what happens on Discord? Discord is a text-based platform
you.
where you can release state secrets, or if you'd rather just chat with your friends at Totes Recall. I personally post rarely, but way too much. But here we've posted a request for Q's and C's, questions and comments.
Wait, do you mean like you post too much when you do post?
Yeah, I do paragraphs,
Got
and
it.
nobody wants that.
Got it.
They would rather have a pithy, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, we have to talk about Mildred Pierce. I do want to talk about Mildred Pierce. I'll save it for another time.
Okay.
That HBO special just ruined my brain.
Teaser
okay,
alert.
but right
Wow.
now we are staying steadfastly focused on Demolition Man. Carzon asks, how are the heck are the 3 shells supposed to work?
That's a great question. I always imagined it was a scraping situation.
Sly Stallone years later said,
Oh, wow.
and this might be just because he wanted to end the conversation, but he said he asked somebody, the screenwriter, whoever, he's just like, okay, what is the idea behind these? And he claims that the explanation he was given was that, you use 2 of the shells to clasp and grip as needed, right? And then use the 3rd shell to just scrape away the remainder.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe in this society, you just wave your hand over the shells and the refuse disappears.
Yeah, I mean,
think they were so fluid adverse.
it is but it is like a very 1993 American movie where it's just is it just a bidet? Is that, is it not just a
I
bidet?
was wondering.
There's
when
buttons
he
for a
says-
bidet.
Yeah, right? But yeah, Sly said you pinch and scrape. So
All right. I mean, that's
it's the authority.
That's
you would
solid.
know.
A+.
Yeah, he had to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Enlins asked, if you woke up after being cryogenically frozen for 100 years, what would your first question be?
I mean, gotta give it up to Sylvester Stallone. Where's my wife?
Yeah.
Sure.
What about my wife?
My wife. I mean, you'd have to do a Borat though, and just
Yeah.
see if it's still funny.
That's
See
true.
if it's still hilarious.
Because at that point in time, if it's probably come back to the
Exactly.
zeitgeist, and everybody will be like, "This guy's the
This guy
funniest I've
rules."
ever met."
Yeah, that would be
After.
the first question. Is Borat still relevant?
Okay, so
My wife.
first, hold on. Let's see. Is Borat still relevant? And then
My wife.
and a follow up. My wife.
My wife.
Ha, ha,
Just,
ha. And then once the laughter dies down,
yeah.
what
wah,
happened
wee,
to
wah.
her?
Yeah.
Then third question, for me at least, would be where do I poop? And then from what Molly taught me to ask earlier, how big is the hole?
Yeah. Future poop. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. D Sequitur asked, is the product placement for Taco Bell the greatest product placement you've ever seen in a movie?
I love it.
It's great.
I mean,
like,
I'm a big
good.
Taco Bell fan, so that earns some points. But
yeah,
I think it works on a joke level.
totally.
I think it's funnier than a McDonald's or a Burger King
Agreed.
or a KFC even.
And the way it's introduced is so perfect, where it's like the lead Dr. Monk mayor governor is like, I want to treat you to dinner. Come join me, won't you, at Taco Bell? Like he says it with such extravagance.
Yeah. It's such a weird future detail that is not needed there. That scene, I was thinking like, oh, the weird future details are too dense. Because it's like they're going to Taco Bell and there's like a guy playing the piano in like almost like a flamenco outfit, and they're all singing commercial jingles, and it's like it's too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I enjoy that everybody likes old Beth cut out me trying to remember what this is.
Commercial jingles.
Yes,
That's what
jingles.
Dan said that a few minutes ago.
Did you say that just now?
Yeah, just now. It's the last thing that was said.
Beth, keep all of this in.
I'm sorry, I was busy engaging with our fans, reading ahead to the next question.
It also felt very like early 90s American movie that all the men are wearing just like these flowing, like elegant robes, like shoguns, but the women are still wearing like form-fitting like cocktail dresses.
Yeah.
Oh man, that dress that Sandra Bullock wears is so
It's
good.
pretty cool.
It's cool.
It is
It's got a
cool.
bunch
It's got
of-
like it's like those rocks that you get in art kits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the robes though. I would wear future
I do too.
robes.
I would wear that. Hell yeah.
It weighed like 40 pounds and it broke. So there's a whole part of the scene where she just has her arms down while she does her dialogue.
You think
Really?
is that why she
Wow.
changed into a robe for the sex scene?
Well, I mean, how are you gonna? I mean, I don't know about you, but I would have trouble relaxing in a bedazzled
That's
dress.
true.
Yeah.
I
Like
guess
it's got
that's
to be
true.
hard to even
It was
sit
pretty
in.
tight. Yeah, that is a very
And he's
point.
got like
It's
a
like-
gi
and that-
on almost. He's like,
yeah.
yeah, a kung fu.
Bananas.
Okay.
What was the question? Taco Bell. Great.
Yeah.
Great
Is it the
stuff.
greatest? It was really a yes, no,
Probably,
but
yeah.
I'm glad we went into it a little
Great
bit more.
vegetarian options in terms of shitty fast food.
Hey, Taco Bell, you want to sponsor us?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Give me some nacho
We'll talk.
fries.
We'll talk Bell.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you're already ready to like just trade our hard-earned airtime for some nacho fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least get like a burrito or something.
7-layer burrito. Yeah, that's good.
There you go.
Fra asks, it's been years since I saw this movie, but did they future bang?
Did they future
Did
bang?
they
Did they future bang?
Did
they future
bang?
They future bang.
They did
They tried.
specifically future bang.
Future
Yes.
bang. Yes, exactly.
They
Absolutely.
did not
90s bang.
finish.
liquid bang.
Fluid transfer.
Liquid bang.
That's worse than fluid transfer.
The coolest character in the Metal Gear
Oh
Solid
yeah,
franchise.
liquid bang.
Liquid
That
bang.
is accurate. I think the real question is, are they going to fluid transfer? Do you think society is going to loosen up to the point Sandy's going to get down on?
I mean,
Based on-
Dennis Leary is going to give a whole speech about how to fluid transfer once he gets a microphone,
Yeah.
right?
He sure will. But I think Sylvester Stallone, through his weirdly aggressive World War II poster kiss,
That was so weird.
Yeah.
it was so weird. But then once again, she saves it by giving him an enthusiastic, 100% more sexy kiss back.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
think there's some banging, but what a wild that experience that would be.
She's
If you
going
had
to
never
lose her
even
mind.
Touched hands for a
Yes.
high five.
Yeah.
Woo!
Like I feel like it's going to be like several weeks of just like slowly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she'll be like, no, never mind, and like run away for a while. I'd be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
rough.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a pretty intense experience.
Hmm. So maybe they should just start with holding hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John
John
Spartan.
Spartan.
Come
Yeah.
on,
Also,
just
Take
such
your-
a dumb name.
Such a perfect. The fact that we had a character named John Spartan and we knew he was ready to truly kick ass in the future when he got his cool beret back. Chef's kiss.
Oh, just one more thing. Speaking of the future, in this movie, they reference President Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is very funny. But this was 10 years before he sought the governorship of California. So,
yeah, maybe him and Sly had had a conversation where he's like, "Oh, I think I'm going to run for office," and he's like, "Oh, it's so stupid. Why would you do that?
Yeah, you gotta go
Can't even be president."
No, I need to get some donkeys up there in Sacramento.
I need to change the law so I can have donkeys on my property. That's the only reason he became governor.
Loosen the donkey laws.
Loosen the donkey restrictions. I love that theory. I love it. Ugh.
Okay. Taylor History asks, I don't think I remember anything about this movie. Is that a good thing?
I mean, if you're going to watch it soon.
Yeah. Yeah, stay fresh for when you watch it right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll get to it in ratings, but I think I might actually recommend this movie.
Hell yeah.
Still thinking about it over. The reference machine asks, what is the man demolishing?
Oh, reference machine.
Good
So much.
question.
Old structures.
Yeah.
So much.
The
No
laws
regard
of
for anything that is
personal
Social
boundaries.
mores. Yeah.
The swear citation machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The virgin skin of his 36-year frozen anus.
With the seashells?
No, with the swear paper.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it looks like a rough paper. That's not gonna...
Right? It's like a fucking receipt. That's like a heat transfer paper, whatever it's called. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean,
Yikes.
he's also demolishing a lot of societal norms.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a long list.
Yep.
Victoria asks, I've never seen it, but who would win in a fight? Demolition Man or Emmett from the Logo movie?
Lego movie.
Yeah?
What?
I said, yeah, as if to encourage more talk about it because I haven't seen it.
I believe that's Chris Pratt's character in the Lego movie.
Yes, the master builder.
Got it.
I mean, Demolition Man. Emmett.
Yeah,
Kinda
he
sucks.
would just step on Emmett, and Emmett would. Well, Emmett, you know what? When you step on a Lego, it
That
hurts.
does
It
hurt.
hurts,
That'll demolish
man.
your foot.
Absolutely. And if he
So-
falls down and then, and the magic science orb that freezes things is probably right around the size for a Lego figure to pick up.
Yeah.
So he could Wesley Snipes his ass.
Yeah.
Spoiler
This is-
alert for the end of the movie.
It could be an even fight, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's worth trying. Nerds who do this kind of shit, make a movie about
Yeah,
it
nerds.
on
Do it.
YouTube. Honestly, I would love that if someone took the time to make
Demolition Man.
Sylvester Stallone as John Spartan versus Emmett the Lego figure.
Well, now
I'd give it a thumbs up.
Sure.
okay.
Let's smash that like.
Sure.
I'm for it. Now let's make. I'm gonna watch the Lego movie, which I don't think I've seen.
It's fun.
I bet it's fun. Okay, this is the last QC from Carzon, and it's a combo. I think this was Sandra Bullock's first big role. How much does she crush it?
So much.
I'm going to defer the first part to Molly.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
What do you mean? You said you were on the internet.
Yeah. The internet's
I'm
got
always
that.
on the.
There's all sorts of sites
I
with
know,
that.
but I.
Yeah, what site are you going to find
Is
this
this
out?
really pre-Speed? Speed feels
think
earlier than 93, but we've watched it and we talked about the year and I don't remember. So who knows?
Wasn't Speed 92?
What order are Sandra
my God.
Bullock's movies in?
I'm glad this is on mic.
Thanks for asking, Dan. I very quickly pulled up in my own memory and did not do an extensive search. But yeah, you are right that her first film was Speed. That was the first time she was doing non-TV. And then after that was in 95 was While You Were Sleeping. Oh,
This is
okay.
93.
So yeah, so I guess this is 93. You're right. Okay.
So it goes Speed.
No,
Demolition
it goes
Man.
Demolition Man, Speed,
Oh.
While You Were Sleeping.
Ooh,
well,
all
well,
right.
well.
Yeah. Which,
So this
P.S., if you are looking for a perfect rom-com while you were sleeping, I just rewatched it this Christmas, and it's incredible. It's got everything.
Okay.
It's got Sandra Bullock. And
Say no
more.
more.
But
Yeah.
anyway, why I will look up later. How about this? I will look up later why we just picture her knitting bees. Why do we do that? Does anyone remember?
I think it was a rating scale for
Yeah, you made us
something. Sandy's bees.
Sandy bees.
Sandy
Oh,
bees.
Sandy bees.
She
Sandy
leaves bees by
or
the door, and then you can
something,
take them with you when you leave.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Sandy's bees.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
your idea.
Oh, well.
Well, it's good. Well, here's what we learned then is that this movie was not only Sandra Bullock's first big movie, but this was also a little guy named Sting's first big movie because this man wrote and performed a title track and the end credits, and it is amazing. None of us were prepared for it.
No. It legitimately, kind of is a good song.
No, that's what was so confusing because when it came on, I'm just like, oh, that's weird. They've got kind of a bop going for this movie, just because it's kind of a, violent action movie. But then all of a sudden I hear Demolition Man. I'm like, what? It's for the
It was
movie?
catchy.
No, well, I don't know. I don't think it was for the movie, though. I think it came out
How
in
dare
No
you?
way.
He wrote the song
How dare you?
in 1981.
What?
What?
Yes. He wrote it for the police. They
And
decided
they were
not
like,
to put it on their
no,
album.
thanks, Sting.
And then he was like, here, Grace Jones, you can have it. But then the band saw her version. They were like, let's redo it. So then they redid it. And that's what you hear. And then they made that I think.
Did they name this movie after the song?
Oh,
I don't know.
hope so. So basically what we're learning is they wrote this entire movie
Oh.
around Sting's song and Dennis Leary's stand-up.
Maybe. Actually, let me look something up real quick because I think the screenwriter or the person who
Where are
was
you going to look it up?
Wikipedia.
Molly is not prepared, and she decided to
This is where
find
we
information on
Okay,
the
okay, all right.
things out.
Wikipedia.
Okay, hold on. No, there's this really good section because the person who originally wrote the film, it was by Peter Lenkov. And
Okay.
he received a story credit, but he came Hollywood straight out of college with no connections. He wrote several scripts. He was inspired for this by Lethal Weapon and
Sure.
wanted to do something about cops. He was also influenced by stories of celebrities being cryogenically frozen and listening to Sting's song Demolition Man on repeat due to a broken cassette player in his car.
Whoa!
Yes!
Yeah. So there it is.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Demolition Man.
Which sounds
kind of
so
slaps,
much like-
honestly.
It sounds so much like Annie Lennox's Missionary Man, though.
It also sounds like the Mortal Kombat song in some parts.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It's very weird.
Maybe it is like the universal song. It is like the Taco Bell of music. And that's
It's-
why we all resonate with it.
Too long, though. It's so long. Like, we were playing it while we were, and by we, I mean I forced everyone to listen to it while we were setting up for the second half, and it kept going. It's over 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I assumed it was just like you have to make it this long because of the credits, but no.
Yeah.
They just were rocking out.
You're blowing my mind that the song preceded the movie.
In some ways, it inspired it.
Wow.
Can you imagine
Wow.
that being the one song you have on your deck on repeat?
Oof, no. Like the first time around, I'd be like, haha, yes. Second time, I'd be like, oh, weird. Fifth time, I'd probably go nuts and I guess be like, Sylvester Stallone gets his ass smashed against an ice block, and then there's a ray gun that comes out of a gun museum. He has to wipe his ass with swears. So that makes sense. This whole movie was a fever dream brought on by hearing that song too many
Just
times
driving
in a row.
to LA, right? God, this town sucks. Light it on fire.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't get the tape out of his tape deck in the car, so like anytime he was driving and looking at the vistas of Los Angeles, he had to listen to Demolition Man. Wish I could be a Demolition Man to this fucking town.
Yeah.
And then he pulled over, because he had to immediately write that on a Taco Bell napkin because he had a great idea for
That's
a
right.
screenplay.
All comes together.
came together.
And I don't think we answered the second half of that question.
How much
Does she crush it?
Oh,
So
baby.
Maximum.
So much.
So much. She
Like,
is
she
incredible.
gets more out of that script than I think almost anybody could.
Yep.
Ugh.
So charming.
Imagine if they had cast anyone else.
Like Jennifer Aniston.
Instant
She's great,
dud.
but it would never work.
Sure. No.
Yeah, Anne
Wouldn't work.
Hathaway, don't even bring it up.
Oh my God, no.
She would have been like
I
a
mean,
baby.
she's too young. But
Yeah.
yeah.
She wouldn't even be able to say words out loud.
Because she was a baby.
Yeah. Well, is that all the Q's and
she's
C's,
incredible.
Bob?
That's all the Q's and C's.
All
Great.
of them.
So thank you, patrons.
Thank you.
And this was temporarily brought to you by me because Dan is a little under the weather. But don't
Yeah, we felt
worry,
bad.
he'll be back next broadcast.
Thank you.
Unless
Yeah, he'll be back to aggressively push us through them as fast as possible.
That's the job.
You're the Demolition Man.
That's right. Our rating scale, as we all remember,
Of course.
is machete shoes.
Machete
shoes.
Machete shoe blades.
Machete shoe blades,
Machete
which are
shoe blades.
Machete shoes.
Machete shoes.
That have a sponsorship deal with Wesley
Yeah.
Snipes.
Yes.
Because we accidentally created a rating scale for if we watched the movie Blade.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
good, swords on your shoes to cut through
You know what
aggressive.
you know what's up.
underbrush. We all get it.
Machete shoes.
It's
It's
me.
me, Wesley Snipes, here to tell you about machete shoes.
When I'm fighting vampires, I need my machete shoes.
When some motherfucker's trying to ice skate uphill, I pull out my machete shoes, and then Steven Dorff gets his ass handed to him. We should watch Blade.
Yeah, I mean, all right, Dan. I don't know what you gave it. Molly took the notes.
Dan gave it a 4.
Yeah, I think I assumed this movie would be bonkers and stupid and delightful, and I was right. This movie knew exactly what it was doing, even if what it was doing was only not fully fleshed out during the filming of the movie sometimes, maybe. I loved it. 5 machete shoes.
Wow. Maximum machete shoes.
The maximum machete. The Sandra Bullock of machete shoes. Just taking it all the way.
I go second, and I gave it a 4 in the first half. I thought that it would be pretty bonkers and then go downhill from there, which kind of aligns with how I feel about it. So here's how I feel about it. I
Please.
hated the whole movie, but I did love, I don't know, let's say 10% of it made me laugh out loud.
Sure.
That's a high percentage, but like the parts that I thought were funny or absurd, like made me laugh. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I completely hated it then. So I'm going to go with a 3.
All right.
It's very
on
generous.
Coward Island, but
Very generous.
yeah, it's something else, that movie.
Yeah. I believe I swung for the fences and gave it a 5.
Yep.
And I'm going to stick with it. It's
Hell yeah.
so stupid.
Yeah,
It's just the kind of movie I love. It's like 90s action movie with like too much of a premise. Right?
like more than is necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I gave it a 3, as we all know, on Cowardly 3 Island. I feel I owe an apology to Dan Jaquette for being so unenthusiastic about this movie. I had no background with it, no interest in it, and it turns out it was bonkers. In mostly like a really delightful way. Like, I honestly don't know how a movie could be more off the rails and enjoyable to watch, unless it was maybe Jingle All the Way. I don't know. It's somewhere in that realm.
Sure.
But yeah, all the gratuitous violence, and like during the whole first section, I was just like, I guess this is America. Like, you know what I mean? I was having kind of this moment where
Yeah,
it's like,
it's deep, right?
is this like 90s America, or is this
Very
like
deep.
current America? Like, who makes these films?
Yeah.
Who makes these choices? And it's very clear that like a bunch of dudes made these choices. Anyway, good on them, I guess. I give it a 4.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
I don't know. I get so mad about who gets to control the narrative. And it's a movie about one person controlling the narrative.
Whoa.
There's absolutely no self-awareness in it. But okay. Anyway, men have
doesn't
your
the guy
Hollywood.
who controls the narrative get thrown into a fireplace?
He does, but
Yep.
by another man.
So you're saying if Sandra Bullock had thrown him in the fireplace, you'd be
No,
like,
I'm just
hell
saying,
yes.
like, if this had been a movie that Sandra Bullock had created through her own production company, such as While You Were Sleeping, it might have some more
see.
universal themes and not be
I
such
see.
a like teenage fever dream of violence and one-liners.
Okay,
And I'm not saying there's not a role for that in the world. I just it's insane to me how much that has just dominated for decades.
Let me pitch something to you.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock is a cop.
Oh, go on.
Okay, I'm ready.
Is she a
listening.
bunny? Go on.
Like a rabbit?
Well, Zootopia. Go ahead. She's a
So
bunny.
she is a cop.
Okay.
You could say she's a top cop.
A top
She has
cop.
to infiltrate a national beauty pageant for reasons that I don't remember.
What if she's actually not a cop, but an FBI agent?
That's what I meant by top cop.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was just throwing some more specifics out
Yeah,
there, but
I
No,
love
thank
that.
you.
I
I
love
was
that.
trying to be clever, but it was probably not clear to some people who
No.
don't hate the FBI as much as I do. If you're listening, FBI, I'm just kidding. Ha 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 ha. LOL.
Didn't she do a buddy cop with Melissa McCarthy?
She sure did.
Heat.
Heat.
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't
Yep.
that what it was called?
The
That's
Heat.
called
No,
Heat.
The
yeah,
Heat.
Heat was
Heat's Michael Mann.
the other,
Oh.
yeah, with Pacino. and-
Chino and
Oh,
Val
yeah.
Kilmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some other men, probably.
Definitely
Yeah.
some other men for sure.
Anyway, I'm sorry to save my bummer rant for the very end.
No, it's legit. It's too bad she got sidelined in the final fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's literally knocked out.
We didn't even talk about that. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
But she thanks him for it, so it actually was good.
I don't know.
she said learn sarcasm though.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
she
that what
did.
that was?
That was sarcasm.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Which again, sarcasm is apparently no longer a real thing after what, 2 decades?
It was
or
like
something?
30 years or something.
It's insane.
Listen,
Yeah,
things
it's wildly-
changed very quickly.
It's yeah. Well, you got a big
Yeah.
natural disaster.
I guess.
You really evaluate your humor choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess if you like forcibly exile all apparently like native Spanish speakers of Los Angeles County into the sewers.
Yeah.
That was
The-
weird.
The
There's-
Spanish
again,
in this movie was oddly
so
used.
strange.
Like
Yes.
Simon Phoenix wakes up speaking Spanish.
Like out of spite or something?
Yeah. I don't
know.
know why.
Was it that that was one of the things he learned in his cryo?
could
And so
infiltrate.
he was like feeling himself, trying things out?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess so.
I mean, there are moments where it really feels like Wesley Snipes was just like, he basically was allowed to say anything he wanted if he was on camera. Because, like, there is a point, like Beth mentioned earlier, how he was, like, so bad at shooting a gun at Sylvester Stallone at the end part of the movie. And there is a point where he, like, literally, like, shoots a lightning gun at him and misses. And, like, the character Simon Phoenix says, I don't know what's with me today, or something like that. So it almost feels like even Wesley Snipes is like, I definitely should have hit him by now.
Yeah. But then he gets fully executed by John Spartan, who like
Yes.
freezes him and then
Oh.
swings around and destroys his head
Knocks his head off.
and shatters
mean-
into pieces.
Because, again, what America needed is just one strong man, a strong, brutal man who is willing to do whatever it takes.
Cool it on a wide scale.
Yikes.
Yep.
What was the term?
Ev-
Something you're called.
Evaluate your calm.
Evaluate your calm, embrace your calm.
it was-
something like
Enhance your calm.
Enhance your
Enhance
calm.
your calm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
gonna
like their
enhance
version of
his
saying
calm.
cool it teens.
that. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, now I love this feature because we would make bank. Our touring school program would be top of
It's
the
called
charts.
Enhance Your Calm.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
We would just do jingles. It would
Brought
be
to you by
perfect.
Taco Bell.
Yes.
Great.
And,
Everybody gets a free, Doritos Loco taco at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nailed it.
Wait, is Taco Bell still open? What time is it?
It is after midnight. We've done it, everyone.
We did
It
it.
depends on the location. Am I right, Dan?
You're right.
Yeah.
Like run for the border.
Yep.
What?
That's
Live
just
Moss, Molly.
Live Moss.
The position of this podcast
meal.
is more flaccid dong in movies. Live Moss.
Embrace your calm.
Embrace your calm. Wipe your butt with swears.
Keep it sharp.
Keep it sharp. That's a patron-only joke. Patreon.com/Totes
I think might
Recall.
also be a call forward.
Oh, shit. Hey, always be closing, even into the future.
Whoa, freeze yourself so you can hear it.
Demolition Man.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.